Hey guys, this is Markuis for CardRunners.com, and today I'm going to be continuing with the footage at 100 NL heads up on stars. I'm going to try out giving maybe some more superficial explanations to some of the actions I do just because I tend to ramble on. I think I go into a bit too much depth sometimes for some simple decisions and stuff like that, so I thought it might be interesting for you guys to just see a lot more gameplay in this video, but let me know if you guys think I gloss over things too much. So on the top left, I 4-bet someone who's been 3-betting me a lot. And as we know from the first video, he was 3-betting me with a somewhat polarized range, which makes me want to be 4-betting him a bit wider because it'll make his 3-betting range weaker, especially if someone's 3-betting 30%, if that's his real stat, if those are his real stats, and he's not willing to thinly 3-bet for value, he's going to have a lot of bluffs there. So I flop bottom pair, and I don't think it's the worst play in the world to bet fold in this spot just because he's going to have 6 outs against me most of the time, and it's a big pot, so there is value in him folding a hand like 10-8 suited, for instance. Not to mention the fact that he could blow me off a bit. So I think bet folding is reasonable, but I decided to just try and show it down. If he bets at any point, I'll probably fold. On the top right, I think you can c-bet or check back. I think both are okay. The main reason for c-betting is mostly protection and preventing yourself from getting blown off your hand. On this turn card, I'm just going to try and show down. I'm not going to have the best hand too often. But actually, the board came out kind of scary for a lot of his flop calling range because I think he will have a lot of 9x's and 8x's that don't necessarily hit a straight or 2-pair here. So I think turning my hand into a bluff is reasonable. And I decided to do it. I can definitely have a number of 10x's. You know, I can have 9-10, I could have 8-10, I could have some 10x's that didn't decide to barrel. I could maybe value bet a queen. I think his call with Jack-9 is good, for sure. If he had called me there with just a lone 9 or a lone 8, then maybe I'd have to rethink whether or not I want to bluff that guy in spots like that. Bottom left, I'll definitely call the turn, and I'll probably call the river against him. Or at least I should call the river. I don't know if I end up doing it. Actually, I think I remember folding here, but I think that's bad. I think he will value bet almost any queen here. But he's just shown a propensity to check strong in spots like this a bit too often, I think. And he's been leading a lot after I check back turns, or after I check back flops. So I think he'll have enough bluffs for me to call down pretty loosely when I check back flops. Bottom right, I'll probably go 3 streets. But when I turn a 4, I think it's got enough showdown value to just try and show it down. I see a lot of people betting in this spot with a hand like mine, but I don't think it accomplishes all that much. I mean, it's definitely not a losing play. But I think you're better off just checking. Top left, I think I'm going to call again. I don't think it's a spot where a competent player is bluffing all that much, just because my flop calling range really isn't folding on that turn too much. But I don't know that this guy is competent enough, and if he is bluffing here a bit too much, hand like 7-9 is definitely a call. And he could also be betting some 7s I chop with. And yeah, bottom right, I'm just going to try and show it down. Unfortunately, I have the best hand. Bottom left, I decide to check back the turn. I think it's okay to bet. It's a little bit thin. I'll definitely call the river if he bets though. I'll have a lot of lone 6s, lone 7s, other stuff. So in this case, I mean, he had 10-6. But that's one of those spots where it's a call that ended up being wrong, but it kind of validates the call in the sense that I'm guessing he's calling with a lot of other 6s. And, you know, he's not always going to river top pair with the stuff he's floating with out of position, so I think he'll have more than enough air to call there. And it's noteworthy that he didn't check raise that hand. Most people wouldn't be check calling gut shots out of position like that. So maybe he's going to be playing some draws passively. And in general, a common theme with spiderweb sets seems to be that he's playing passively in some spots that I wouldn't expect, such as slow plays in some spots out of position, and like we saw, check calling some draws out of position. Pretty good flop on the bottom right. Plan is to go 3 streets. Good turn card. Top left, I'll just bet turn and river.